Welcome back, students. Today we'll try to learn Autopsy software, which is one of the best softwares available in the market. It's free. You can download it for digital investigation or the forensics analysis of any computer or a device. So in order to get a free copy of it, you'll go to their website called autopsy.com/download, and then you can choose either 32-bit or 64-bit variant of it to be installed on your machine. Now it's recommended to have 64-bit version of it, since you know that on 32-bit you have a limitation of 4 GB RAM, and if the software is consuming the resources of your PC, it should be powerful enough to consume more than 4 GB of RAM on your computer so that you can conduct the analysis in a comfortable manner. Now we are working on a virtual machine which is Windows 7 in our scenario, and this is our digital forensics workstation where we have a couple of different softwares installed on the computer itself. Now that's the first interface of the software, which is Autopsy, which is open, extensible and fast. And the normal interface that we have in most of the softwares is that first thing is that you'll have to create a case. If you have a previous case which you have saved somewhere, you can open it from here. Since we are working on it for the first time, we'll click on new case, and as usual we'll give it a name. For example, we are going to analyze a disk, so I'll give it a name like disk analysis, and then we'll change the path of it to our D drive on our folder, and we'll select the folder. Now keep in mind that you will be connecting a evidence drive to the computer, or you will be conducting a static acquisition of a computer. So make sure that you're selecting the disk which is connected to your computer as a foreign disk. Since we are conducting it on the same computer, and just for the testing purposes or as a demo, we are going to select a drive which is the drive C of this computer on which we have installed the operating system. So it's not recommended to keep the base directory in the C drive, because you'll be investigating the C drive for any possible evidence. So that's why I have selected a different partition, and I'll be keeping all the files related to that in that partition. Press next, you'll give it a case number, then you'll write the name of the person who's investigating, the phone number and the email address, whatever you have, and any specific notes that you might have. Now organization analysis belongs to, it's not defined, but if you want, you can create the name of your organization with the details. That would look very professional. For example, we'll say Forensics Lab, and name is Mr. Ali, and the email address will be, for example, abc@ali.com, and then phone number would be 000. Now you can use this information in your case. Now once that's done, we'll press finish, and it would create a case for us. Now that's the initial interface of the software, and we'll go through it in a while. Now it's asking to select a host. The difference between it is, if you want to generate a new host file based on the computer on which you are working, you can select the first option. If you have a host name defined, you can name it, for example, test case over here, or you can use an existing case which you have it on your computer. Since we are doing it for the first time on the computer, I'll keep it as it is, and I'll press next. Now you have different options appearing over here. Disk image is that if you have an image file already existing on your computer. Now you can create a disk image using lots of different softwares like FTK Imager. A video about that is already there on our channel. Or you can use Ncase in order to create a forensics image of the hard drive. So if we'll press next, it would ask for the path of it. If you'll select it, it would just load the file, and then it would select the sector size of it as well, and will give you the hash values of the disk image, so that once the investigation is complete, you can match that if it's matching the original disk or not. So since we are not going to the already image file that we have, we'll be selecting a local file on the computer, and we'll be selecting the image, for example the drive C, which is the drive 0 on my computer. If your drives are not appearing over here, you can refresh local drives, and it would show you the drives that are connected to the computer. Now keep in mind that if you are working it on a virtual environment, just like me, I'm using VirtualBox, your USB will not show over here. I'll release a video on how to add USB drives to the virtual machines. You can watch it later on the channel. Now we'll be selecting the drive over here as drive C of the computer, and that's an excellent option appearing in our Autopsy software, which is that we have a VHD image over here which it can create. Now once the image is created, you can run this image, which is a virtual hard disk, on Hyper-V or VMware Workstation or VirtualBox, so it would create a virtual image of the same hard disk which can be used later. Now once that's done, we'll press next and we'll continue, but I want to show you the other options, that if you have a logical files, for example, if you have a logical evidence disk file, that's what I was talking about, that if you have created an image of it, you can select it and load it over here with an extension L01. Or if you have an unallocated space image file, you can load it in the same way, 2 GB chunk files, or you can create one file altogether. If you have Autopsy logical imager results, you can use them as well if you are using any of the disk drives which are listed over here. Now the last option is XRY TXT export files. If you have them and you want to analyze them, you can simply load them by clicking on it. So we'll go to the local disk, we'll go to next, and then we'll select the disk, which is the C drive on our computer. We'll press OK, and then we'll select the time zone. Select the time zone which is matching your area. I'll be selecting the Saudi Arabian time zone, and then I'll press next. Here it's giving you all options like what you want to investigate in this computer, hash lookup, file types, and all those things. And an interesting thing for this version is that it's even checking for Android analyzer, and you have iOS analyzer here as well. Now that's an excellent option which is appearing on it, because if you are investigating anything related to the iOS version or Android, you can easily select those options from here, as this is the one appearing for iOS and this is the one appearing for Android. So we'll press next and it would start processing it. Now depending on the size of your C drive, it would take some time. At the moment it's checking the status of it and creating a case to be saved in the destination, which is the D drive. Again, I'm repeating it that since we are creating an image or we are analyzing the C drive, it should save the image file or the analysis results in another partition which is other than the C drive. Now as you can see that it has created the file, and then you can press finish and it's analyzing it at the moment. You can see the recent activity of the software over here. It's showing you that 6% has been analyzed so far, and if you want to see further details, this would keep on populating as it's investigating your C drive. You can further click over here and it would show you the physical disk which is connected, and you can see further details about the hard disk, different views, and it would populate all these results over here. Of course it would take some time to analyze the hard drive, so you'll have to leave the computer like this for a while so that it should conduct all the detailed analysis on the computer. If you'll click over here, it would show you the actual progress and the files which are being analyzed at the moment. So we'll leave it at the moment, and we'll check it later once it's done. Just note another thing, that we have some messages appearing over here. They are very helpful. If it's having any issues in extracting some information, you can check it over here. Further, you can save the table results in a CSV file. Once we'll have all the results over here, I'll go through rest of the options, and we'll continue the session after that. Okay guys, as you can see, the analysis is complete, and we'll go through it, that what is it all about. First of all, as I told you, that if you click on it, you'll be able to see the sources and the hard drive which is connected, and further it would give the details of it. Now if you'll come here further, and you'll see the file types, it has segregated them by the images that it has discovered over here, videos and audio files, databases, and etc. If you click on it, it would show you the preview of it. Further, you can check the hexadecimal code of it, the text details of it, further the picture itself, and the file metadata. You know, the file metadata is very important because it gives you the exact date when it was created, accessed, and all those relevant details which are required for any investigative report. Now you can check other tabs which is giving the details about it. If you'll simply click on thumbnails, it would show all the thumbnails of the images that it has acquired. Further, if you want to save the details of all these things into a CSV format, you can do that as well. On the top here, we have the images, the messages which were appearing on it, but since once it's completed it, they were all cleared. If you want to search it by any specific keyword on it, you can run the search through this command over here. Now it has segregated the documents, PDF files, each and everything, and even it has discovered that there were some files which were deleted from the computer, and you can further sort them according to the flags and other information. I would highly recommend that you can save the table in a CSV format, and then you can view it in your Microsoft Excel to see the exact details of it. And then, as you can see here, we have the MD5 and SHA appearing here as well. So if you want to have the verification of the hashes, you can check them using that as well. It's selecting it by all files. Further, you can see the files as per the size here by 200 MB or GB, the bigger files which it found during the investigation. And if we'll go further down, we have the artifacts, and it's very important because we want to see that which softwares are installed on the computer. So it's giving all the details about the softwares, and if we'll see the metadata, that information is there. Operating system information, giving you all the details about the operating system, since it's Windows 7 Ultimate, date and time, see Windows, and the product ID and other information is appearing. Further, if we'll go down, we'll see the recent documents which were accessed on this computer are also shown. So it helps you in checking that if anyone penetrated on the computer, actually which files did they open and what they were trying to do actually with that. Now the running programs are listed over here, which are in the memory of the computer, which are currently executed on the computer at the time when we conducted the analysis. Then we have shell bags appearing for all the information about the paths and the registry values of it, where they are appearing. Further, we have the USB devices which were ever connected to this virtual machine. It's even maintaining records of it. If you bookmarked any of the websites on the browser, that information is also here. Even the web cache details, since the user might have browsed certain websites on the computer, so all those details are also shown up here. Not only that, we have the information about the cookies, As you know, some are persistent cookies and some are not, so you can get the basic details about them. If the user downloaded any files, that information is also being captured in it. Even the web history, if they tried to browse any websites, they are here. And if they try to search certain things, as I search for digital forensics and different websites, so that information is appearing. Now mind it that default browser of the computer is Internet Explorer, but since I used Google Chrome to search for the files, it's giving me exactly that which browser I used for those things. Now it's checking that it found that some encrypted suspected files are also appearing on the computer, so you can investigate it. And then EXIF files, which are the metadata files appearing, extensions, and then it has some interesting items which could be the encrypted files of the Autopsy software itself. Further, some keyword searches and stuff information is there, and even the email addresses which it found during the investigation of different softwares or the programs which were used are also listed up here. So that gives us an idea that if they used any email software or sent any emails out, you can find it from here. Now suspected files are segregated by a different content folder over here, and then you can go to web categories and OS accounts. Now these OS accounts are telling you about the accounts which were used in order to log in to this computer. And further, the same thing as we checked for the images, if you click on an account, for example an administrator account, it would give you the address of it, of the OS account. It would give the other details about who logged in, what was the time, which profile was used, and other details which are there related to the account. Further, you can tag certain files and you can generate a report of it. I'll generate a report in a minute. I want to just go through rest of the options which are appearing over here. If you click on images and videos, so it would show and group all the videos and images in this investigative report that it has generated, so you can check all the details specifically related to the pictures and the videos. Now you can set different priorities on it. You can have different filters as per your own requirements. You can even click on the discovery and search the files based on the size of the file, videos or documents or detail or the domains. So you can group them and sort them as per your own requirements. Now if you want to search certain thing within a time parameters, you can define it over here, and it would tell you all the details about the files which were saved on the computer. As you can see, the maximum files saved were in 2021 or in 2009 when we used it for the last time on this virtual machine. So all those details are shown up here. Further, if you want to click on the communications, it would show you that any kind of email programs which were installed on the computer, you'll get all the details, the messages, logs, media attachments, and all these other things should be appearing on this computer. Now geolocation is only giving you the location or the geographical parameters of it. We are not using it that much since this computer is not live and it's not on the internet, so we won't be able to get any information out of it. If you click on the settings icon, you can further change the settings of this report before you can generate a report, and it's giving you the details about the tag area, score, and even if you want to change the area specific to the time and zone, you can make the modifications up here. Now on the case, we have these files over here. The case details can be viewed again in this under the case. It would even tell you details about the data summary, that what kind of hard disk was used, how many audio files, images, and the files were there. You can further click on the analysis, recent files, geolocations, times, and stuff to get all details. Foremost, this is the software that we have used. It has given me the detailed report as compared to the other softwares that we have analyzed so far on our course on computer forensics and investigations. Now if you will go to the tools, it's again showing the images and stuff. You can run in digest mode as well, generate a report. If you want to install any plugins, you can do it by directly going and downloading them. Some of them are available for free, like which are installed. If you want to purchase them, there are lots of other plugins. You can read the details about it, add them for a detailed analysis on the computer itself. Now you can run even the Python plugins, and you can create a live tri-edge drive image of it by clicking on this one, click on, and it would create the image of it as well. Now if you want to create a logical image, you can create it by clicking on create logical imager, and as I showed you earlier, you can click on it and continue with creating the image of it. Rest of the things are related to the listings and stuff, like how you want to group the items on the screen and stuff. So that's pretty much about the software. So now once the investigation is complete, we want to either close the case or we want to generate a report. If we want to generate a report, we'll click on the generate report button, and it would ask us that which format we would like to create a report on. You can create an Excel report, you can have it on text files, tagged, extract the unique words and all those things. I would prefer having an HTML file. You can further change the header of it over here, and the footer, I'll keep it as default. I'll click next. It's asking that which source you want to select. I'll press next over here. Which specific results you want to have, I'll say I want to have all reports, all results, whatever I have found it in the investigation, and press finish. Now it would generate an HTML file, and you'll be able to generate the HTML file, and it would have all the relevant details of each and everything that we have conducted. As you can see, the report is complete. You can click on it and it would open the report, which you can view in your browser. Now as you can see, data analysis, disk analysis report, autopsy forensics report, we name it disk analysis, case number is appearing, the name that we gave, and the software information for this software, and it's generated using Autopsy software. Then you can see the images about different things, for example the encrypted files it found, all the interesting artifacts and the metadata, even the shell results and the web browser bookmarks, web categories as we saw on that. So all those details can be used later or can be presented in front of the court for any further investigation. So that was it about the software, which is Autopsy. We use the latest version of it, which is 4.19.1, and I hope you learned some new things in it. That's it for today. Thank you very much.